suppose the biggest thing is my dad, or it's mainly my dad. It's a family business, but it's my dad is obviously photographer. So he never pushed photography on us when we were kids, or he never said like, right, you come in now and blah 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 blah. So I think that's probably a massive thing as well. I suppose it's like sport. If you have a child and you probably pushed them and pushed them and pushed them to play a certain sport, and if they don't like it, you probably they might go against it, you know. Whereas, and actually the same with sports. We played a lot of sports when we were younger. Me and my sister, we did different sports, and we could have found our feet of what we liked. So I suppose in the photography sense, that's probably what happened. I didn't plan, naturally enough, on going into the business. I worked with my dad, and the crash happened, the recession in the 2007, 2008, around that, and I went back to college and did design, did graphic design, I think in 2010, I think it was, and then finished up. And when I finished it, I really enjoyed doing photography in it. So that's where I stuck with that. I don't really do any design aspect of it anymore. I really love the photography side of it, and that's kind of my story, how I ended up in.
Well, your reputation precedes you, you know, because you really have got a very talented eye. And the very interesting thing, because I obviously in preparation for today, I was looking at, you know, articles about, you know, the photography business in general, even prior to the pandemic, and how challenging it can be for businesses. But because you have always had the skill set and the ability with your, I suppose, a creative sense, you know, you would have a huge reputation in the wedding market and that, but you also had a massive reputation commercially. You know, how, you know, that obviously stood by you now, when obviously the wedding markets, you know, as much as there are weddings still going on because people are going to just get married, but you know, how's that impacted now for you, you know, with the pandemic?
At the start, it was really, really quiet. Like, just like, I suppose, look, a lot of my clients as well need a cash flow. So I mean, if you have a lot of staff on board, whatever, you have suppliers to pay. I mean, photography is not your number one thing that you need to get at that moment in time. But since, I suppose, the last 2 months, it's really kind of picked up again. Yeah, I've just been lucky enough and back working, and I'm lucky enough to be in a job that I actually, like, I love doing what I do. I work for myself, which there's pros and cons to do, but mainly the pros outweigh the cons for me. I love working with people, and anyone that I've ever had with me, working with me, like, I always looked after them kind of financially. I find if you, it's the way I am in general, I suppose. Look, I always tip, because I suppose, look, I'm in the service industry myself, so I suppose, look, anyone that's in that kind of can relate to me or whatever. So yeah, but working for yourself, no, it's brilliant. I love it. I'm lucky in a position to do what I do.
You are in a lovely building, actually, and I was just saying earlier, in Waterford is quite a small city, you know, really quite compact and really historical. And you're based, or, you know, that your studio, there's a most unusual frontage to it. It's, you know, it's nearly like a Dutch building, you know, it just faces at the back of the granary, and it's in the cultural quarter. And what would have been the previous history with that? Or, you know, obviously it must be conducive, you know, to what you're doing from an art, you know, point of view and a creative point of view.
As far as I know, no, this is not going back to like 100 years ago or whatever, but I think before my dad was here, there was another photographer, and before him, I think there was a hairdresser here. So as far as that's previous to that, I'm not sure.
But it is. And actually, within now, I take it that that's where you are now. You know, you're still doing up a bit of work, because you're still, you know, again, that's kind of the entrepreneurial lifestyle that we all have. Is that as much as, you know, sometimes you can maybe, you know, take time out, but then you still have to get the work done, and there you are still in the studio. The studio is at the back there. What is that there? There's framing now, obviously, which is, we're all doing our houses up. We're all looking at pictures.
Framing section. So what I'll do is I'll pick up the camera. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of framing. Well, Dad does. My father Leo does a lot of framing. So that's actually really, really busy now at the moment. Thank God. So yeah, no, it's great. So that's more
Wow.
there. That's just stuff then waiting to be collected. We've more stuff there. That's new. I don't know if you can see that. New mouldings arrived in today, and we just put some more stuff before the wrapping. And that's kind of that's the alcoves there, just with some
Yeah.
different portraiture, etc. So I'll bring you upstairs. I'll show you that.
Yeah.
I'll show
Yeah.
you the studio. Give me 2 seconds now.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Great.
I
We'll
don't
get a
know.
look at things. I
So,
love it. I love it. I love it. I love seeing people in their places of work and what they're doing.
so this is
Very
studio then. This is where we take whatever
yeah.
different portraiture, or if you want to shoot products or whatever. We're lucky. I'm lucky to have this space, you know. So it's controlled environment,
Yeah.
different lighting setups, different props in the corner, different color backdrops, etc. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
it really. It's another
Yeah. That's
just another
fantastic,
it's a
David.
Muslim
That's,
backdrop
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So
So, you know, it's really, really interesting what you're saying, because obviously from the framing point of view, you know, you've got, as we say, we're doing up our houses. We're looking at, you know, holding on to gorgeous pictures of our family and that we're wanting to put into a really decent interior. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So it's kind of really important. So that's probably where it makes a great sense to be able to, you know, to avail of, you know, the proper frames and using yourselves, and certainly Leo,
Yeah,
who I know is a real artistic, you know, mindset, and has used to interiors and giving ideas to people. Just whenever I saw the studio there and you mentioned the kind of product, I suppose, yes, I can understand that, you know, because the websites, commercial pictures,
exactly.
and really, when you think about it, and obviously one of my, obviously, you know, interests, particularly with social media, and particularly when I'm looking at all the social platforms, we do a lot of shopping with our eyes. We're looking at things and we're, you know, totally mesmerized by visual things. We don't read anymore. We watch. You know what I mean? We watch the, you know, the pictures, and so that's how popular Instagram and all of those picture, like, you know, Pinterest and all have become, because of the really good pictures. But even from web developers and that, they really need a quality, you know, picture that, you know, I don't think anybody can produce. I mean, as an amateur, I don't think I could produce that. Is that what you would find in yourself at the moment, that there's product and there is, you know, web development work in relation to your skill set that you need to be doing, you're asked for?
Yeah, like I shot her. It'll be going live in the next couple of weeks. I did work for a local, or not a local, gift shop in Kilkenny. Beautiful work. So I did some shots of the interior and shots of the inner, and then she sent me down some products, just the photograph, just for to have on the website themselves. So yeah, you kind of cover it all, you know. Like, and as I said, I can do that my own time. There's no one bothering me. I can do is stay back after work just a couple of hours and whatever. So
Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
good.
that's excellent. Do you find though that at the moment that are there people that are saying we're taking the opportunity to take a picture of, you know now with obviously social distancing, etc. But prior to that, was there the interest that people were saying, I want a portrait picture, or did that stop a bit whenever there was the pandemic? What happened there?
It stopped initially, but
Yeah,
the studio it's not massive, but it's.
yeah, but yeah,
I mean, like if I'm photographing someone upstairs, I mean, I can
yeah,
go up. There's
yeah,
plenty of up to stand away
yeah.
from. I'm never on top of someone anyway. So
Yeah, yeah, you're not. It's not as if you're on top, and it's only really you and the client anyway. So it is.
it'd be
It
me and the
makes
client.
great. Yeah, yeah, it makes great sense. I mean, that's an amazing studio, and I can understand where there's businesses. You know, there could be, you know, jewelry shops. There could be people that really need the good quality
Mm.
picture to be taken, and the fact that you've got so busy. Yeah, because I was looking at just your Instagram stories there this morning, and you know, you were doing some work for, I think it was on site with the Evoke Kitchen people here in Waterford, the German kitchen designers in
Mm.
Waterford. And I just thought, oh, you know, it just looks like a gorgeous kitchen. And I suppose when everybody's thinking about doing up their houses and just the really clear pictures that you actually take, you obviously can't do a lot of, or, you know, at the moment, I suppose we're in a county, you know, so people can actually send product to you, or you can
Yeah,
work within the county at the moment anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and the trading online voucher has been big at the start, especially people were getting in touch with that because I think a lot of people didn't know it covered photography. in some aspects of things. So people were getting in touch then. So yeah, I've
Yeah.
done it.
Yeah.
I've done a bit of work. So
Yeah. That's been
but
really valuable. Yeah, that's been very valuable to every business. And now,
yeah, everyone. Yeah.
look at us now, we're in, other restrictions that are kind of coming into play. But the fact that it is, that you are online with, commercial, images and pictures that that you can work on. And I suppose a wee question was always wondered, I suppose, because whenever I would have gone when we once had the opportunity to go to special events and attend functions, what would ever have happened? Say if you were at a function or event and you were taking a picture and somebody came up to you and said something like about giving their opinion on taking a picture if you were taking a shot. Do you take that in good sense or in a nice way, or do you kind of say to them, no, how do you take criticism from just a wandering person with a tree?
Well, I don't know if it's criticism, but someone might come up to you and ask you, "Oh, what about this?" Or especially at weddings, you get someone with a camera interested in photography, and they'll come up and they'll just try and melt the head off. It's like, I camera. What do you think of that? I mean, it just look. Most of the times, I'll entertain them and just say, "Look, I'll happy to talk on maybe after dinner or whatever, or at dinner to work."
Yes, yeah.
I'm not but I'd have no problem telling someone or trying to help someone.
Oh, yeah, I know you're very, very good. You're my goodness, any type of comments, your testimonials on your website and all have been always so positive. Your reputation does precede you. But I was kind of wondering, if the sister or the bride comes along and says, "Can you take the picture at this angle?" Would that be something that would? Well, I think it would annoy me. This way, I'm not really good. If I'm there, or would there be, do you kind of go, "It's okay," because they're all high tension. It's a tense moment.
Yeah. I'm only there to photograph today. I'm not there to dictate today or whatever. I'm fairly good, easygoing person. I'm normally in good form, especially at weddings. I mean, when you strip it back, it's a big party, so people are in good form and have a good time. So I'm just there to capture that. So if it has a certain position, I mean, someone says, "Oh, I look better on my right side, on my left side." So I want to do that. Jump in, turn that way. I'll do that for you. There's no problem at all.
Yeah. Oh, that is so lovely. Oh, that's lovely. Really lovely to hear. So, okay, now I'm kind of looking to pick your brains a bit because obviously, social media, all the people that usually watch this, and there's plenty of people that hop in, later on the IGTV series, that I was hoping to kind of, I've said to people, look, like, you don't really need to buy a big camera if you are a small business. Realistically, you don't really need to buy, this type of. I've always said, look, and particularly when I'm doing the training on, the Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, I'm saying use your own phone. Now I know myself. There's times, I give you an example. I go walking, I take my pictures, and I keep going. Look, you've got so many pictures on your phone now of the greenway. You could just keep using the same one. Blue sky. I need to kind of vamp it up a bit. I need to do something differently. Just so that people can. What type of recommendations would you, for someone like me or anyone that's watching to kind of improve? What are the key things, I suppose, that we need to be looking for? When we're taking a picture just on our phone.
Bloody hell, I don't know. That's like Pandora's box now for asking me that. I don't know. Try to just not get too technical. Natural light is always a winner. You can't go wrong with natural light. Like this time of year, then you've really strong light as the sun sets lower. The sun, so you get a lot of contrast, which is not great. Makes for nice artistic shots, but probably not great for portrait shots. So I don't know. If you're doing a headshot for someone, maybe, as I said, probably not natural light beside a window. You could, if the light was really strong, you could get probably a bed sheet if it was whatever white or whatever, and you could get someone. If the two of you maybe, so you could get someone to hold it. So the window's coming in here, so you just hold the sheet here. You have your person here, and if you wanted, you could just do a shot there. And if you wanted, then again, you could get another reflector. So a piece of white card if you wanted to maybe hold it here. So you're balancing the light back off the window back under the person. So just take a little bit of the shadow off their face.
Oh,
So,
very clever. Oh,
look,
that's very clever. That's very technical. I
something off
wouldn't even
the
have
top
thought of that. I
of
wouldn't even have thought of that. Can I was going, like, like you're obviously from Waterfordian, like myself. Well, I'm a citizen, got the passport stamped. But you would see the streets and the gorgeous, like from the Waterford walls. There's places that we've got great opportunity to take lots of great pictures.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm usually kind of a landscapey. I like buildings. I like interiors. I like,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just taking shots of things. But I'm kind of that conscious that I kind of take the same landscape. So should I kind of mix it up a bit and go at it at a different angle, or what should I do? If I'm just taking shots like that.
Not necessarily. I mean, you are who you are. I mean, your eye is different to my eye, and that's what makes us all
Yeah.
not like poncy, whatever. But I mean, that's what makes us individuals. I mean, that's you. I mean, I don't try and go such and such is doing this. I'll do this. I probably would have done it a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything. You find your feet. I mean,
Yes.
you mature. I'm probably getting a bit deep now, but that's that'd be my style. Whatever it sticks, you're you. So if you find whatever you're happy doing your landscapes, stick to doing your landscapes.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I don't know. I found when I started photography, I used to shoot the whole way horizontal, and my father used to say to me, "Don't be shy to go vertical, portrait, tilt the camera." So I find myself actually shooting a lot like that lately.
Yes. Yeah.
Not by choice, but just it just that's just from editing my images recently. That's and especially I suppose for Instagram now.
Yeah.
Instagram, the portraits tend to look nice if they're kind of more horizontal rather than square. So
Yes. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
look, especially for stories as well. So if you're doing
Yes.
some
Yes.
story
Yes. Yeah. Aye. Very
horizontal, so,
horizontal. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's a really good idea. That's a good tip too. But actually, when you're saying that, when I've seen some of the portraitures and some of the pictures, there's something very natural about. There's something quite authentic about the pictures that you take. They're not, contrived. Why sometimes people are sitting and they're all sitting as if, they've been going for an interview.
yeah.
The way yours isn't. Yours are very.
I think
There's
I
just
think
something. Yeah, lovely.
I think
Yeah.
I think a big thing of that is I did work for I won't name them obviously, but I did work for someone recently, a couple, and I photographed them for a piece that'll be used in national press soon, and I just did the shots. I had it done in about 10 minutes max, and they just said, "My God," they said that was real easy. They said like we had someone listening a while ago, and he had us whatever standing here and doing this and doing that and whatever. And they said, like, that was brilliant. Like, and I said, well, look, I said, like, you know your audience. So, I mean, you go in, lucky enough, I've met the people before, so you get a judge of character. So I know what they're like. So I know that they're kind of reserved people. They're not kind of, like, let's make them do something that's not them. And it kind of comes across then that it's, as you said, maybe, I don't know what the right word for it, but it's not them. So I think it's always nice to shoot someone and show them who they are in their own personality, So that's what I try to do. I don't try and force someone to do something that they're not happy with, or that they feel out of, or if I got that vibe, if I said to someone, what about this, and they say no, I'd say, right, fair enough, we won't do that. I never push the agenda, So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's very sage advice, actually, when I think about it, because, like, say, even in any type of, training, be it, from a social media, digital or marketing strategy, I'd always be saying to people, know your audience, because that's who you're really talking to. And, you've just, it's just as simple as that. You've just even said it, and that's probably where people reach out to you. And I know you yourself were quite shy anyway. Whenever I was said, "Oh, I want you to come on to Meraki Meets," because it's not something that you think, it's not you in the camera. You're the one behind the camera. But I
exactly.
just thought I loved, I love how like a lot of businesses, just grinding on and finding a way through, and there's such a good community that's in Waterford in the southeast that are rallying and supporting and recommending. And I just think that I just love the fact that with you and your father, do great work and have a great reputation, and work really hard at it. So And then also the wee tips that you would be, that you could actually, share in relation to, taking the good picture and taking the, even just when I can ask again in relation to the, tools, say, I really have not used myself a selfie stick, if you know what I mean, to take it. I don't do this anyway. But is there some type of tools that you think, lads, you know what? This is what, like, I've got one of these wee sticky things that actually I was at a Chamber of Commerce event, and I think it was Ernest and Young were giving these wee things out free to hold your phone, and I still am thankfully still using it today to hold my phone. But is there some type of little tools that you think we could use in a small business from using our phone? Is there anything, I don't know, a box, tripods, or what do you think?
You can get stuff now for, fairly cheap, in fairness. Like, there's no stuff is made in China for peanuts, so I mean, you can get something like, there's like Gorilla I think it's a Gorilla clips. I think they can really clip onto anything. They can slot onto your phone.
Okay.
They're like a claw for all the world, and they'll kind of put onto something. So I mean, you can put them on I don't know, if you're out by a tree and a narrow branch, you want to take a portrait of yourself.
Yeah.
Or you could maybe clasp it onto that and stand back and get an outdoor shot, or but look, you can pick up stuff relatively cheap now. But as you said, going back earlier, I wouldn't be if I was a small business, I certainly wouldn't be going out and spend a fortune on a camera. Like, smartphones now are phenomenal in what they can do in the pictures they can capture. So the only thing I would say is, don't put a filter on your profile. It just, I don't know. Maybe the industry I'm in, I don't know, but I mean, especially not a stupid filter. Face is blurred out and it's all soft and you have no wrinkles. I mean, like, that's maybe just a personal thing with me. I don't know, but you can. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, if I do a headshot in the job, I mean, I'll do a small bit of retouching to it, but the person will still look like them. It doesn't look like them 20 years ago, or them in a dystopian life or whatever. So just kind of look. That's for me. And look, and don't do. I've seen pictures on LinkedIn of people in their kitchen with a press behind them. Like, don't don't do that. I mean, we all have. I'm sure we all have one friend we could get to take a picture of someone outside, or against a white wall or a black wall, or with like a neutral color. So just do that. I mean. Yes. Yeah.
That's a very good. Really, really good tip, actually. Particularly in a professional, setting as well. You're trying to present yourself as a business and
exactly.
Something competently, at least, particularly if it's a LinkedIn. There's a lot of people out there now who are going to be looking for, pictures to update their LinkedIn profile, and people are changing careers and all of that that's happening. Another thing that I found a wee bit challenging now, because it's getting darker at night, is that now I never really use them. I take the picture and I go, what am I doing? And it's at night time when I'm out walking, because I want to take a picture. I don't know what it is, just to prove what is it worth my while taking a picture with the flash outside?
No, absolutely wasting your time.
All right, okay.
Like, I mean, if you're standing out on the road and you're trying to illuminate, there's only so far that flash is going to travel.
Okay.
If you are photographing someone in front of you, then absolutely, but not if you're trying to take in like a landscape and putting on flash. Like, if you're down the greenway, say, and you turn onto the river, you want to take a photo with flash on. Basically, what you illuminate is probably the shrubs in front of the river, and that's it. So that's no good to you. No.
Yeah. So when should I use a flash ever? Should I use a flash if I need to?
Use a flash. I don't know. Hopefully,
during the day.
When the pubs are back open, you want to get a picture with your friends outside the pub. Remember those things? That's when probably use a flash. But no, no.
It's not worth it. Well, funny that, take the picture before I leave, so that, and it's just the fact that it's part of the.
And you'll always look good.
And it is these kind of, just to see, and I thought, that is just a waste of time. What am I doing? And now it's getting darker, so then I'm kind of going, I want to, be able to, for myself to say, well, I've been out walking or I've been doing something or I've seen a nice picture. And it's, you know, and I suppose anybody, particularly in stories, that's kind of one of the reasons. But yeah, forget about us taking pictures in the dark out in the bush. There's no worth it, which is really brilliant. Well, that is fantastic. Fantastic. I really appreciated that. So yeah, and as far as balance and, well, obviously we'll not be taking any groups of people, but as far as kind of taking a picture of, you know, a person or, you know, reflections or, is that something that you kind of say play around with, stuff like that, you know, with
like
symmetry or?
Yeah, exactly. It's like anything. Play around with it. It's like the more you use your phone or your camera or whatever. It's like anything. The more you have a guitar, the more you play it, the better you get. It's like you put in the hours, you get better at it. You know,
Yeah.
Same.
And, yeah. Is there anything on the phones that you think there's a wee button that you can try to focus on, or you say no, don't be going?
Well, I wouldn't know. I have an iPhone. I don't know. Some people say to me, "Well, I have an Android phone or whatever." Phones are different. They have different settings. They have different. Yeah. So yeah. I'm not gonna comment on that. I think that's the easiest thing to do.
You do, yeah. Well, I know I've tapped on things on my iPhone, but really doesn't make a difference. For me, the big pain was trying to take a picture at night time with the dog, and I remember with red eyes, and I'm going, sure, that's the point. And then,
exactly.
But so it is. It has been. But look, I know everything that has been so valuable. The conversation. We're nearly 30 minutes. We've been chatting, and you didn't. I know that you're pressed for time because you've got work to finish. So I'm so delighted that you've come on. Our audience get to see you. Can you tell people where they can discover your studio, your business? Can you tell people where to discover you?
Yeah, our studio is based in 12 O'Connell Street, as you said earlier on, across the Granary. So you'll see us there. We're open Monday to Saturday, and we do it, as I said earlier on. You saw the frames. We do a lot of framing and portraiture as well. Portraiture. We're still doing a small bit of portraiture, families and stuff at the moment, while we can, because we can do that. But and if anyone wants to have a look at the job I did earlier on, I did a kitchen earlier on, as you were saying. It's on my story. So you'll see it there. And I'll be posting stuff over the coming weeks then, to the stuff that I've done. I never post stuff on my page unless the client has posted it first. So I let them sign off on it and let them share it, and then I'll share it after then. So
yeah, very good. And you're on all the social media platforms?
Yeah, all the social
Twitter,
Instagram,
Instagram, Twitter, the whole lot. Yeah, you are really active, because I do follow your lovely wee dog that you take pictures of as well.
What a man. He should have his own page. He's his own fan club. The amount of people message me about him, myself and Anne, my girlfriend. So it was Anne's idea to get him, man. He's like the prodigal son in our house. So
he's just a gorgeous wee dog, just a gorgeous. What is it? A spring?
He's a golden cocker.
Oh, he's stunning. Yeah. Look, you've been giving him an ego. No.
Calvin Klein model. If he was a human.
I love it. Love it. Beautiful, beautiful dog, and so well loved. And it's just, and we all love our dogs and just all our family pets and that. But listen, David, it has been a joy, and thank you so much for all that sage advice. We could still be chatting, but I know you've got commitments. But thank you so much again on behalf of everybody, and we wish you very well. And I'll say goodbye to you and let you get back to your work. Thanks a million. Thanks a million. Really appreciate it. Thanks a million. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Well, that was brilliant. That was David Murphy, really talented commercial photographer based in Waterford. Please follow on all the social media platforms. It's David Murphy Studio is his Instagram, but you'll discover it because you'll see the standard of the work. Thanks again for joining me tonight, and please join us next Thursday if you want to catch up on as I said, IGTV has a series, and also we're going to be starting with the YouTube, and then it's going to be posted on LinkedIn as well on the company page. But anyway, listen, have a great night and stay safe. All the best. Thank you.